Hey everyone, this is Warbird Frank. Welcome to a long-awaited episode of War Thunder. And yes, it's been almost 3 years, if not 4 years, since I've done a commentary on War Thunder. Simply because I have school, I have work, and so on. Now, don't expect to have these videos every so often. I'm only doing this for fun. And a disclaimer while I'm at it is that the anything that I play in here is simply off of my own strategy. I'm just simply telling you my experiences and what works for me. I am in no way, shape, or form a pro at this game. I am simply your average player. I play all nations, and I am top tier in almost every nation. No, in most nations, tier 6, tier 5. So disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. I do not, I'm not good at this game. I simply enjoy the game and the gameplay. So if you're looking for a guide to play this, you can think of it as a guide, but this is how I play and what I like to do. So, with that out of the way, today's star is the Lorraine 40T. There has been a lot of controversy about this tank because of its speed and its autoloader and its battle rating. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I think at one point this tank was 6.7. And the nerf was it got up to 7.0 matchmaking. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that it's more than capable of handling itself at 7.0. But with that being said, Frank, how do you play this tank? Now, like I said, it's how I play it is completely different from what you guys are capable or how you guys feel you should play this tank. So I'm going to tell you based off of my experience. Well, I'm going to just go do a quick rundown on the tank, not too in depth. So, my crew is basic. It's at 28%, so it's not all that great, so keep that in mind. But the crew's reload time will not be affected by this because it's simply an autoloader. So the reload time is 4.5 seconds. Its vertical guidance depression is -8 and +15. So 15 degrees can actually get you killed. If there's a tank above you, you can't really shoot back at them until you pull back or whatnot. The turret rotation is pretty decent. Not the best, but gets the job done. Hull armor is 40, so you're not going to be bouncing anything. You will bounce the occasional shell, but don't rely too much on it. That's the hull armor. The turret armor is the same. You actually, if you get this thing hold down, it's actually pretty trolly. So keep that in mind. But it won't work all the time. Just that's luck based. That's RNGesus. So it's a 49-ton tank. Well, it's supposed to be 40. I'm sorry, 39-ton tank. Excuse me, and it's 40. So it has a 850 horsepower engine, and it goes a top speed at 37 miles per hour on land. On road. So, how is the tank? Well, from my personal experiences, it is a fantastic tank. So, the armor is not, like I said, it's not too, nothing to, be proud of, but if you guys are War Thunder players, you should know that the Lorraine is a deadly tank on its own. Because of its speed, it can get into places where, other tanks can't get to, or it can get to places before other tanks, giving it a tactical advantage on the map. Now, how do I play this? And, maybe you guys can learn from it. Well, we're going to show you in some gameplay right now. So, let's go over and skip over to that. Okay, well, here we are on Poland. Now, when I was playing this game, I was trying to get into a position, and I got here fast enough. So we have two RUs scouting, so I take a shot at the back one. Now, a lot of you think, well, why didn't you take a shot at the first one? Well, I didn't have a chance, and simply because through my experiences, excuse me. I have had cases where I should have and could have shot the back one, And the back ones are the only ones that get me killed, or at least 89% of the time. But that's because of my own fault. So here you see I can go ahead and use the tank's mobility to its advantage. Now, I know what I was thinking at this point was, well, I'm going to try to go ahead and outflank the other RU that was in front of me. My thinking as well was, well, I mean, the guy that I killed is going to respawn, and so why would I stay in the same place, you know, and kill him again? So I decide to fall back and go ahead and see if I could cut him off right here. Now, I think there was at one point where he had died and I wasn't aware of it. So I look around, I see what the opposition is. I don't see anything. But while we're on this, you know, we're talking about the Lorraine. Now, I said that there was a lot of controversy about it. I only stated one thing, that, you know, that it's a bit of an overpowered tank at the time. This thing went through countless experiments. So at one point when the French tree came out with the autoloader, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank here, guys. The auto-loading mechanism, the reload time would be, I think, 9 shells. And so once you lost those 9 shells, you would have to wait for a reload time of about a minute, I believe. I think it was shorter. And it all depended on your crew. But the thing is, if people were smart about it, they would shoot 1 shell at a time and just, you know, conserve the shells. And that's what made it overpowered at the time. And there was nothing to compete against this tank, or at least its speed anyway. There was a lot of things that could compete against this tank, but it was more about its mobility that made it what it is. Because you remember, this thing has no armor whatsoever. Alright, so back to the gameplay. So I decided to go ahead and run back, see if I can go ahead and spawn anything. It's been a couple minutes and the guy must have passed through here many times. So I just go through this forest, seeing if I can scan anything around the area. Of course I don't find anything per se, but it's just good to go ahead and double check regardless of whether you're in a light tank, heavy tank, or a medium. Okay, so we're going to go off topic one more time. I'm sorry, my commentary is bad. This is my first time trying to go ahead and record something after the gameplay. So I'm not really talking during the gameplay. Like, this is just me trying to go ahead and record after. So I'm doing voiceovers, you know. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about a little bit about the tank tree. The tank tree for the French it's a bit of a mixed bag of beans. Now, there's a lot of things about the French tank tree that are kind of limiting it and kind of make it not fun to play. And that would be the reserve tiers, because the reserve tiers, like, their armor's decent, but it's not. Okay, sorry. I'll get back. Give me a moment. All right, so we'll get back to the tank tree in a sec. So here you're gonna see me have some terrible shots. I couldn't range it, but that would be the Italian goat cart, the RT something, I believe, with the recoilless, 2 recoilless rifles. And yes, I know I am a terrible shot when it comes to long range. So I give it a couple shots. Now you're gonna see me in a few looking at my barrel, or I'm sorry, my magazine. So I had to count my shots because I wanted to go ahead and make sure I had enough ammunition for the next tank that was coming up. So right there, you see that? So I go ahead and have the ammunition stowage, you know, reloaded. And this is where my decision actually comes in handy, because right now I have tanks right there. I missed that one. But there's going to be a Yak Tiger and a type, I can't remember. It's another Japanese, it's a Japanese tank, and it's an ATGM. I can't remember what it was called. Now, there are some downsides to having the Lorraine with its ammo type. Now, I was debating whether to go back and capture right here, and a lot of you are going to say, well, why didn't you cap? Well, I'm going to tell you why. One, I would be giving out my location, giving the enemy the whereabouts and whatnot, and they would all face towards me. I didn't want that at the time. So I decided to go ahead and park myself behind this rock. Of course, I kind of screw up here. Alright, so this is where the Yak Tiger and that Type 80, that Type something is going to come up. Now, the downfall of playing with the French tanks is, at this tier, is they have no explosive filler. It's solid shot. Now, there were times when the solid shot was actually really good. And it is, so, you know, I take another shot, I kill that guy, boom. Alright. So, when I was doing this, I wasn't really thinking at the time. And I wanted to go ahead and try to get as much kills as possible. This is where I get greedy. So there's a Yak Tiger, and I'm going to go for the guy in the back first. Alright, engines out, so on. Yak Tiger backs up, I take out his transmission. Now, the reason why I say solid shot is a kind of a mixed bag of beans, and it's kind of a, it'll betray you, is I could have killed those guys, but I get shot in the side, I decide to back up, I panic, I go into a dip right here. So, this is the end of this gameplay, I believe, and I'm going to go ahead and get stuck here and fall into the lake. There's going to be a time right here where a leopard, you know, is blind for a second, but it, you know, I fall into a lake, I get myself stuck, and I die. I get killed by a king tiger, and so on. But back to what I was saying about the Lorraine. The Lorraine is a fantastic tank, but its downside for me is its solid shot. I'm not particular fan of solid shot for the French because you have to be precise, and I'm not really good at that, so it gets me a little angry. So there's my kill assist. But yeah, the Lorraine solid shot is pretty good. The accuracy of the gun is pretty good. It's just, it doesn't have the killing power per se. It's more of a, you know, be precise in where you want to hit the tank. Now, not to say that the Lorraine is a bad, by no means it's a bad tank. It's just, I love the tank. I'm not a precise player. If I want to kill a tank, I want to make sure that the tank is dead. Now, a lot of you may disagree with me, and that's okay. And the thing is, I'm just here to tell you that from my experience, I'm a little bit too aggressive in this tank. When I have a fast tank with light armor with a great gun, I tend to be a little bit more aggressive than, you know, what you guys are used to. So we're going to talk about this gameplay in particular right here. Now, sometimes aggressive plays can be a good thing, but remember, I'm an aggressive player when it comes to light tanks or anything that has mobility to it. I prefer mobility, and I prefer a fast rate of fire. Now, that's not to say that you guys can't learn off of this, but I know a little bit of the maps from the back of my hand, like the back of my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and push up front. Now, I know that if I go ahead and push to A, I'm going to be in a death trap. Now, I don't really like to push up this hill simply because I like that right there. I look around to see around me to see if there's any tanks in this in the desert, and you know, I'm constantly paranoid right there. So I keep checking. Now, keep in mind the Lorraine doesn't have the best armor from the front and the side. Good luck. Alright, so I check up on the hill. Obviously, I'm not going to go up there because I feel that it's going to be a little bit too risky, per se. And right here, this is where I think I make the right choice. So I keep going straight. Now, what you're going to see me do here as well is I'm going to go further. So I'm not going to be going towards the little ramp on the left. I'm not going to go up there, and I'm a little bit iffy about that as well. So I'm going to check up there as well, and I'm going to look back to the desert because I'm so skeptical and so scared. And when you guys play War Thunder, do you guys actually go ahead and like get paranoid like I do, or is it just me? Leave a comment down below. Anyway, so back to the gameplay. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place with this. This is my first time trying to go ahead and commentate on the after gameplay. Anyway, so I'm clear from my left. I look to my right, and then I continue forward. From here, I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. I'm fine. I could do this. Now, a lot of you are gonna yell at me in the comments like I'm a scumbag because I'm about to do what I'm about to do. Well, I wanted to go ahead and make sure I get behind the enemy, and I do realize at this point I'm too close to spawn. At this point, there's no turning back, and I realize at this point that they're going to see me because of Gaijin's mechanic of if you get too close to spawn, they're going to spot me right away. But you're going to see right now where I actually know that I'm not spotted simply because there's going to be an M46 popping out of spawn. And I felt bad about this, and yes, I'm a scumbag, but at the time I didn't know what to do, and I needed to go ahead and do something for my team because right now I'm just overflanking. There is such a thing as overflanking. So we got our first victim here. M46 Patton, I think. Let me see. Let's double check here. Yep, M46. So I missed the first shot. I panic because I didn't want him to go and see me. Second shot goes right into his crew. Take out his driver. He's turning his turret. Luckily, with that 4-second reload time, I can go ahead and take him out quick. So I'm looking to my right to make sure that there's nothing else that's going to spawn in. At this time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, gotta keep going, gotta keep going, gotta keep going, gotta keep going, gotta keep going. I'm thinking, I gotta get the hell out of here. I don't want to, do what I did to this guy, this poor fellow here, poor M46. Sorry, mate. If you're watching this, my dude, I highly doubt it, though. I'm sorry. Just gameplay, man. Anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, I want to get out of this area. I don't want to get spotted. I move up to this hill. So I make a little bit of an odd play, I think, up here. I'm going to be going and get spotted by a Japanese tank. I can't remember which one it is. STA-1 or STB-1. STA, I'm sorry. So I see him. I back up. So there's going to be a little bit of a tricky moment here. This is an interesting tank fight right here. So I know I'm more mobile than him. I know that I can outperform him in that. The one in particular is the STA-1, I think, and it's a long tank, so it's not good with maneuverability. And I think right here he actually thinks that I'm still here, but it's at this point where he realizes that I'm actually on the other side. So we're gonna play a game of cat and mouse. I'm gonna throw artillery on him to try to throw him off. So this is where I get a little bit too aggressive. I'm thinking to myself, maybe I could take this guy, but then again I think to myself, I have no armor. What am I gonna do to this guy? He has a shell capable, assuming if he has it, that has explosive filler. He can one-shot me. I can injure him, but he can one-shot me, and I can one-shot him. But depending on if I get a lucky shot on him or not. So I decide to back up and use the rocks. The rocks as cover. Now I panic here because I don't know if he has a shot on me, and he's backing up. So I make a bit of a move up here and move up in reverse, and I realize to myself, I realize I have the reverse speed and I can get out of here quicker while avoiding his fire. So I get in the center of this rock and move up. Now I'm panicking here. What am I gonna do? Is he gonna come up? Is he gonna back out? Fortunately for me, he decides to back up. So this gives me breathing room. I am able to go ahead and use this rock as cover and get up to where I need to be. Now I'm thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? So I look behind me. I'm gonna go to my right and go up this hill. Now I was thinking to myself, maybe I should just leave this guy and go help my team, because but then again I look at the map, they're capping, we're fine. So I move up this hill, and you're gonna see me do a little bit of a kind of a derpy move per se. Alright, so I get up on this hill. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I can go above him. Now, at this time, I'm thinking, should I cliff dive and so pop up behind him? Because I have the mobility for this tank. And the Lorraine is more than capable of getting into position and, popping up in unexpected places. Alright, so no, I don't decide to cliff dive. So I know he's still there. I can still see the tracks, and he's going to be parked up against that rock near the shadows. And now I'm thinking to myself, did he come chase me? What am I going to do? Sorry about the squeaky chair. And then I see him. Now I wasn't quite sure at this time, so I had to go ahead and peek again. Now I make a bit of a bold move here. Now this could have been the death of me, or it could have ended the game right here. So there he is, right there. I use the binoculars, and I obviously see him. He doesn't see me at first. And I'm thinking, okay, I could do this. The only thing is, I make a bit of a bold and stupid move, to be honest with you. So I pop out my pop over, make sure I have the gun depression for this. I look again, he's not looking. I push up forward. This is where he sees me. I said, oh shit. And then he shoots, he panic fires. I go ahead and pull back up and one shot him. Now, see, sometimes you don't want to make aggressive plays like that, considering you have no armor, but I simply got lucky. When I play these tanks, like anything that's fast or has a high rate of fire, I play too aggressive. Alright, so right here, I get a little bit of a barrel. I'm not sure if it's dead, so I just take a pop shot at it, miss it regardless. So I decide, okay, well, might as well just keep going. He doesn't see me, he can't get, either he's pinned down by someone, you know, the usual. This is where I get a little bit, you know, panicky, because this road up here tends to have like surprise butt sex and whatnot. Alright, so we're gonna have a friendly Jagdpanther coming up right now, and he's gonna be joining me in a second. You're gonna see him in a few. Okay, so I spot an enemy tank right here. This is a Type 64, I believe. He sees me, I see him, I have more time to aim. Bam, one shot. That's what I like about this tank. It is just a capable tank. There he is. Alright. I decided to go ahead and see if I can go ahead and relocate, see what I can do. At first I was thinking, should I go or should I help defend the cap? I was gonna go, but I decided to go ahead and help the Jagdpanther. So it's at this point where I panic and I see the FE. I take out his tracks. He thinks, I don't know what happened here, but I think he didn't know that he can shoot through me, so I use that to my advantage. I mean, shoot through that building. So I use the advantage, do the crack, go through his turret, one shot him. So this is where the gameplay is going to end, however. So I wanted to go ahead and protect this Jagdpanther. Unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the gameplay right here. I'm going to end up being killed by a Patton. But it's coming up right now. But the thing is, I panicked. I thought to myself, okay, what if I push up right here? This is where my mistake was. I push up thinking it's, you know, okay, there's one tank. Okay, so I see that. I say I could take this if I wait. But unfortunately, this guy pops up. I panic shot, he takes me out. So that is my style of gameplay. I like to rush in. I like to go ahead and get into positions where it's not plausible for the enemy to go. So what do I think about the tank? It's a fantastic tank, and what should you do? What do you guys think and whatnot? I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Okay, so my advice to you guys is, if you like the style I play, I would try out my style, be aggressive in it, go ahead and get into place, and you're fine. So that's today's gameplay. Sorry I went off track about the tech tree earlier. I completely lost my train of thought. I do know what I want to say about the French tech tree. It's a bit of a bugger trying to get through the French tech tree. Okay, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like and subscribe to become a Warbird today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.